Today we are test driving the VAUXHALL Insignia 0 to 60 test. If this car was rear wheel drive, it would be twice as good as what it is. It amazes me why so many manufacturers don't make that change. Now, I think it's fair to say that this car in its class is better than a Ford, it's better than a French car, and it's better than a lot of Japanese cars. Personally, I would favour this car out of all of those other cars in this class. I think it's a great car. Okay, it's not your Mercedes or BMW engineering, but it's a well put together car, and it's very, very tight. The steering on this is amazingly responsive. It's very light, very agile. There's no lag in this steering at all. You turn the steering wheel and the front wheels respond immediately. The instrument cluster here is slightly obstructed by the steering wheel. I don't really want to mess around with the steering wheel so I can see the dials. The whole idea of being able to move the steering wheel is to get the right driving position. Very attractive center console here, possibly a little bit overcomplicated, but I think once you're familiar with it you could actually change things on there without taking your eyes off the road. We've got the 6-speed manual here. Now, a little bit odd with this car is the wing mirrors. They're a bit of an unusual shape. They've been shaped that way, I would say, for aerodynamics, but I think I'd rather lose the aerodynamics and have a complete square shape and see more about what's going on behind me, where I've been. Rear view vision, pretty limited, but to be fair, you can see what's going on, and even with 3 people in the back, well, might be a little bit tight, but it could be worse. The interior of the car, pretty much okay. It's not high-end quality luxury, but everything does feel pretty screwed together pretty good, and it's not made out of cheap grade plastic. It's not too noisy, the car. There is a little bit of noise underneath the car. The engine certainly doesn't make a lot of noise, but the car pulls lovely, really does pull nice. It performs a lot better, this engine, than I expected. Now let's see what it's like on the corners. The roads are wet today, and I think we might get a lot of understeer, so we're going to go around the roundabout now, maintain about 20-25 miles an hour. There's no better place to see what the cornering's like. 30 miles an hour now. Well, the car's not leaning at all. It's holding the road very well. In fact, it's holding the road a lot better than I would have anticipated. It's not leaning much. That's pretty impressive, actually, for a front wheel drive car, and quite a long car too. It's holding the road very well, and as I accelerate out the corner, barely any torque steer there at all. So VAUXHALL has come a long way. Their cars never used to be like this. The older cars would be sliding, understeering all over the place, so that's really quite impressive. I think what's left now is to basically have a test of the brakes. Now we're doing 45 miles an hour. I'm going to do a brake test, not an emergency stop. 3, 2, 1. Well, I have to say, those brakes are yet again a lot better than I expected. They're very powerful, very sharp, very balanced, everything's synchronized, and most important of all, I had the ability to apply a gradual pressure. And I think I'm going to test that again because that was rather impressive. I can apply gradual pressure to the braking system in micro detail. It's fair to say this now, and I believe credit's due where credit's due. These VAUXHALLs have come a long, long way, and what you have here now is a very, very good car. Anybody watching this thinking about buying one, I would urge you very strongly to go and test drive one, because I do believe you will be very pleasantly surprised.